You can dump that out. It's like hours old.
We are live. Yay! It's Sue Greenwald here with Awakened Stories, and I'm here today with the real, the one, the only, dun 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 dun, John F. Kennedy Jr. Hey, John, how are you?
I am doing great, Sue. It's
Awesome.
always wonderful when you ask me to chat.
Well, we need variety because it's hard for you to get up there every week saying the same thing, answering the same questions. And, you've got some great supporters, but we need to let people understand the story more, which is why we're doing this, right?
I have shared my story thousands and thousands of times.
I know. I know.
That just
So,
goes to show how manipulated we the people are.
yeah. Yeah. Well, the people that find your videos and they actually watch them, they don't understand. All right. So that's the thing. They don't understand. They don't understand what you're trying to do. So what I'd say to them is read one of the books, okay, and I can show them in a second. Or even easier and better is to watch the documentary, The Quiet TV. In 1 hour, you're going to get the whole gist of the real story. All right, what happened. There's
Right.
now 3 books out. Stolen Identity, available on Amazon. The Historian's Tale, also available on Amazon.
And Lulu too.
Huh?
And Lulu too.
Lulu, yep. And then Quest for Justice, not available on Amazon, only available on 2 websites. The Real John F. Kennedy, JR.com, or my website, awakenedstories.com. It's the only way you can get these books. Okay.
And
So,
and that right there, when you purchase Quest for Justice, that's going to help us get the healing center going.
yeah. Yeah. So basically, the proceeds. So Amazon, when you use Amazon, obviously they have expenses and all that and shipping, but you don't make very much money on Amazon. If you got $1, that would be a lot, right? Here with Quest for Justice, I'm controlling the books, okay? I'm shipping them out myself, and John will be getting proceeds from this book, and he's going to put them toward, I would assume, also living expenses, but his healing
No,
center. No?
it's good. It's going into an account just for the healing center.
Just for the
I
healing
made up
center.
my mind because I don't want to be buying Harley Davidson accessories and stuff like that with my funds. And I'm that way too. If I have cash in my pocket and see something I want,
Yeah,
but the
yeah,
healing center is so important to everybody, to the whole world, that we have a home base to get the
right,
truth out to the
right,
world.
right. Yeah, I can see it too. It's going to be a beautiful place where you've got yourself will be talking and greeting and meeting people, but you're going to have other people come in. Other people behind you want to share their stories. Right now, they're living in fear for their lives, their families' lives, or whatever, or they don't 100% know the truth yet. And they're going to be coming out and they want to share their stories too in a safe place.
Yeah,
So you're going to be providing that.
I mean, the government and the media and everything else has us so suppressed that the common. I mean, do you ever hear from the Epstein victims or anything like that? No, because they're suppressed just like we are. We've been pushing it for so long at all avenues that we can basically afford to get out. We try it.
Right,
TikTok, they remove everyone that holds up one of my books.
right.
Um, I had 45,000, and I've said this a few times, and I was gaining a platform where I could share my story, and they just simply removed it.
Yeah.
We're up on Facebook now. We actually have over 50,000. Maybe hopefully we can get 51,000 today.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
made a big announcement. Oh, we hit 50,000. Now it's been 3 or 4 days to try to get that 1,000
Yeah.
followers. but they monitor us and suppress us. And I even think Facebook throws all the haters um, on my channel also,
I
because
wouldn't
if I look at any other someone else's channel that's not putting it out what I put out, but other things, they have hundreds and thousands of views.
yeah,
So they don't want to just totally take me off, because then they'll look corrupt like they are.
yeah.
But
Yeah. The censorship is so real. I mean, we could go on and on and on, and I could tell you some stuff about what they've been doing to me and what I'm doing, and it's very ugly. Like, like we spend our time, energy, and money putting together videos and content for people to learn more about what's going on in the world. Obviously, the bad guys don't want that out, and they have the money, they have the connections, they have the control, so they get to control what we're doing. I don't really
yeah,
prefer
I
that.
mean, it's hard with all avenues we try.
Yeah,
The huge achievement was my first book, Stolen Identity, and that was, I always wanted to be able to have something to share
right.
to people, like, hey, I'm the real John Kennedy Jr.
Yeah.
and this is what they've done to me. And people say, oh, you're just trying to sell a book, and all this. I get people say, well, why are you selling a book? You should give them away for free. All kinds of different things. And it's like, me just sharing my story cost me more money. Um, the comments I get, I lived a life of poverty my whole life,
Yeah.
under the subject of handlers and every other thing, and just trying to stay alive, basically under the radar. It's expensive to stay under the radar. It really is.
Yeah.
Now that I'm sharing my story, I get more expenses, and selling a book, I get a few dollars a copy, which is great. It helps me pay my internet and all this other stuff. And I get, oh, you're just trying to. No, it's not about
Right.
making a dollar. We all got to survive. I was offered money when I was young to unalive somebody
Ooh.
and be part of the family, and I refused. I said, I'd rather not have shoes to wear, and just walk out in the middle of the woods before I took someone's life, that didn't deserve it, just to steal their money, basically. And that's what goes on. And I'm sharing what I've seen and what goes on, and it's huge. We need to get the truth out of what's really going on.
Right.
We're slaves. We are, trying to get anything out. Like we were talking about a minute ago, the victims. There's so many victims. I get people saying, "Hey, help me." They unalive my family members, my husband, to keep it quiet. It's so huge. That's why a healing center, a home base to help these people, where
Right.
we can all share our stories on a 24-hour live cast, so people actually know what's really going on, because they don't want you to know what's going on.
Right.
They want us they want us to live in poverty. They want us to keep paying our taxes. And these are the people that control us, that spend our tax money, that they have. And until you try to get the story out, you just don't know how much control they have over us. It's huge. So once you try to break out and get a story out, you can see their control, that they have, their
Exactly.
manipulation, their games. Like I said, I tried to go live on Facebook, on my PC. They've shut me down 5 times just by turning off my smart meter. 5 times, just by enough to turn off my computer and make me have to start over again. They
Yeah.
have that much control
Yeah.
on us. The mainstream media. There's been hundreds and hundreds of emails sent to these people, but they're all owned. When you have government that's so corrupt, that you have our FBI, our Secret Service, our CIA, that's so corrupt that they're making millions of dollars. We're allowing these millionaires and billionaires to run our lives, and it's at the point now where they want us to be in poverty so they can be rich. It's that simple. Their love for money. They want us in poverty, and this country was founded for us poor people, for the middle class, for Americans. But they have so much control on it, so they can keep the wealth, they can keep the power, and enslave us and keep us
Right.
doing what we're doing
Right.
through lies, manipulation, and just deceit, plain out deceit.
Right. Right. Yeah, and you know, you try to get the story out, and of course you've got haters, and some of them, you know, some of them truly don't understand. Okay, that's fine. They're regular people. They've never heard the story. It's like kind of mind-blowing to them because they don't understand. They've been programmed. Then you've got people who deliberately delight
Oh
in
yeah.
you know, stirring the pot. And then those bots and those other ones that it's their job to discredit what we're talking about, no matter
Well,
what it is.
my story is so huge, they don't want it out because hey, I'm the president's son. I was kidnapped. I was replaced. I was tortured. I was child trafficked. You know, they used extortion on me. Hey, we got John Kennedy's, you got to pay up. I even believe they lured family members in using me and unalive them. There was so many I mean, it was a total mafia war.
Right.
No Kennedy curse. They were unaliving Kennedys and secretly too. And this was our secret service. You know, they wanted my father done in public. They wanted my uncle done in public, but behind the scenes, they were still doing it. But they were putting in, they were all after the money and the greed. And these are the top people in our FBI, the top people in our Secret Service. CIA. They're the biggest crime ring, and
Right.
they don't mind unaliving people to get their money, to keep the money at the top. And I'm sharing what I personally know, not just guesswork, not just what I read off the
Right.
internet. I lived it, and I'm sharing what they do and why they do it. And people, I hope you all listen to what I'm sharing, and I hope you reshare it because, like I said, I've shared this thousands and thousands of times,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it gets mentally challenging. It gets old, but I can't give up. I'm in it for life. When I came out and decided to share my story, I knew I was in it for life, whether they unalive me or not. It has to get out. And then you get the haters. But why do we have haters? I'm trying to save children from this crime ring, the Epstein files. I'm releasing the truth about what's really going on. It's bigger. I mean, you know, it's pretty big when you molest children, whether it's boys or girls, underage minors. But it's the whole concept of why they do it, to keep them in this club that they have where they won't speak, to brainwash them. I was one of those victims. I was beat, thrown in a cage. I was molested at 5 years old. You know, the stories I could tell you, personal stories, are huge, but they don't want it out because it exposes the whole crime ring. You know, they replaced me. If people can just grasp what I'm saying, our government officials replaced me. They put another crime family blood member in my place to acquire all the riches, to keep the things going in the organized crime ring. But, you know, they did it with my sister, they did it with other family members. These people became members in government. Their crime family has taken over our government. And people need to realize how big this is, that they didn't stop with just me. They're still doing it to this day. It's huge,
Right.
Sue. It really
Right.
is.
Right.
And it's just like the Rosetta Stone. It's like I'm the can opener and I'm opening up the can of worms. My story alone, um, it's that big on how organized crime has taken over the world. Seriously, it really, really has. And you know, we've been finding out how bad it is since we've started. It's not good. It's not good for the future of, you know, I'm 65. I'm not going to live forever. So what I'm doing isn't for me. Yeah, I would like to live a nicer life, not in poverty for the rest of my days would be awesome. But you got to think of your children when you are raising a family in this country or other countries, and it's being run by organized crime members. that have unalived my family members and do things just for money and power. Think about what your children are going to have to go through. Think about the inflation and all the things that are going on in this country. When you have organized crime members running things, what kind of future are your children going to have when all they do is take, and build themselves up and keep us poorer and poorer and poorer? It's, you know, we're going to be starving here pretty soon, people. And these people in power that we allow to stay in power are going to be eating caviar and drinking champagne, and they don't give two rats ass about me or you. It's
That's right.
it's simple. It's
And
simple.
look what they're doing with this governmental shutdown. Like, I actually kind of forgot about it because I go about my business. I'm doing my projects and things, but it dawned on me a few days ago, the food stamp people aren't going to be getting their money. And then I looked through various state things. I wanted to research it before I freaked out. The states have been instructed not to give the food stamps out this month. Okay. So they're purposely hitting people.
Oh, they want destruction. I mean, think about it. You have millions of people relying on food, and I was one of them. Um, when I was young, I was a hard worker. I really was. I went to a city like 100 miles away just to do a job for the weekend. So I did that job and I got paid a couple $100 for my time. And I was going in the grocery store and I literally had bread and bologna. That's what I could afford to eat was bread and bologna.
Mhm.
And there was a couple in front of me and they had steak and lobster and all this stuff. And when they got up to the counter, they paid, and this was, a long time ago, they paid with actual stamps, not cards, but stamps. And I was like, here I'm going out of my way to work my butt off for just a couple $100 so I can buy bologna and bread.
Right.
And these people are buying all this wonderful food that I can't afford myself. I was always against food stamps. Um, 2013 came around and they basically killed me in the hospital. They did a number on me. I was crawling on the ground with no help, and I needed to eat, so I applied for food stamps back then. And I was so unhealthy and messed up. Thank God for the food stamps.
Yeah.
Really, it was a blessing. And there's a lot of people like me. Um, and my point to all this is the destruction of America. You think it's bad now, but you get somebody hungry. What are they going to do to eat? They're going to steal from the grocery store. They're going to break into your homes. They're going to do what it takes. I went, and I was very young. I went to Ireland. I was taken to Ireland and we went in a basement of a house. This is when the IRA was blowing shit up in England and every other thing. They
Yeah.
were making bombs and blowing people up. So that's what they were doing.
Right.
Well, we went to Ireland and we went down through the basement into another house, through a basement. These people had to keep themselves hidden. And I talked with these people. And they basically told me, well, they weren't really talking to me because I was just a child, but they said, we're doing what we're doing because England is starving us. We are hungry. Our children are going hungry. And when people get hungry, they do things what they have to do. And one of those things is blow shit up. That's what happened. I went back to the Queen of England, and I hope you all don't think this is far fetched because this is so true. I said, Queen Mother, because that's what I called the Queen of England, Queen Mother. There's pictures of me bowing to her. Little John Kennedy. I said, Queen Mother, they're doing what they're doing because they're just plain hungry and they're pissed off. I got a ring for that. She gave me this the Queen of England gave me a great, big, ugly green stone. And that's when all the bombing stopped. I said, feed the people. The people are hungry. So my point is, our government is, and food stamps they get all these farmers together and all this to help feed the people. Now the people are going to be going hungry for no reason. None. No reason. The only thing I can see they're going to be is to make more turmoil for the United States of America. The program was already put in place. It didn't affect the system. People had money, even if they abused the system and got more food stamps. I mean, some of these people, it's crazy what they get. Actually, if they have four kids, they're getting a couple $1,000s in food, which I think is a little extreme. But yeah, a lot of the people were limited on the funds where they're eating top ramen.
Yeah.
I know. I went through the food stamp process. You got to file every 6 months. If you don't file every 6 months, you lose your food stamps and then you got to refile and you don't get them for another 2 months. I've seen it. I've been through it.
And
But the food stamp thing, I believe, is just to make things worse because you get hungry people, you're going to get robbed.
yeah,
It's that simple. They're going to do what they have to do to eat, whether it's steal groceries from the grocery store or rob you at gunpoint while you're getting in the car to take your wallet.
right.
There was a guy out here last night, and he was going, he was on so much drugs or whatever, but he was just all belligerent, walking. You could tell he was a homeless guy, all spun out on drugs, just couldn't shut up. I walked out to make sure everything was all right. And I heard him saying, "What the frick are you doing standing out in front of your house?" And it was like, keep walking, dude. That's the best thing you could ever do. But it's already bad. But what are these nutty people gonna do when they can't eat? I was already thinking, was the guy trying to break into my cars or what was he up to? Luckily, my neighbor has dogs that I'm scared of, but they're good watchdogs, which is great.
Yep. Yep. Well,
But
okay.
yeah,
So many things we could talk about there, and there are abusers of every system. But I'm thinking of the older people or the people with children, single mothers who are really struggling. Okay, so it's already hard enough right now. The prices have doubled, and by design. And look at even England, you have to register if you have a chicken. All right. So they're trying to control everything and everyone.
well,
Now they,
we're all
yeah,
sorry, Sue.
they,
We're all
they,
allies,
yeah,
and they're going after these other countries, England and Australia, Canada. They're already planning on
yeah,
taking total control over these other countries.
totally,
They're just
totally.
starting out first with them. They've taken the weapons away from all these people. England and Australia and Canada, you're not allowed to have a firearm. Why? Not because people are getting shot left and right and every other thing. And if they are mass shootings, it's because our government set them up just to take the weapons. But it's because they don't want us to be able to fight back against the government. I'm a firm believer on a Second Amendment, and when they come down and say they're going to take our weapons, that's the time to really start fighting for your lives, because they want we're already slaves. We all know that, but at
Right,
least the people that have tried to find out how big the deception is and everything, and try to get the story out and being hindered, and they're already taking us over.
right,
And I have learned so much my whole life about how they use MK Ultra to do these massive shootings to get what they want to do. You got to look at the things in the background all the way to the Las Vegas shooting. What was the purpose? There was actually casinos lost millions of dollars, and they're not afraid to take lives to achieve what they want. They're the mafia. They're the organized crime. It's huge. If you get too big, like David Koresh or Reverend Jim Jones, Henry found a wonderful picture of me standing in front of Reverend Jim Jones
mm,
by the Hells Angels bus. That's our CIA, San Francisco, all the way to the mass murders that happened where people were being drug out of their homes in San Francisco, taken out and put in a cave in a jail cell and being unalive. It's huge. But this was all San Francisco. Of Reverend Jim Jones started his cult in San Francisco. The Quigleys took me there. I was there. I'm still learning about how they put people under hypnosis and what they do, how you get 600 people to drink Kool-Aid and go find, the afterworld or whatever. But I know the story. I was there. I know how it was done by our government. It was all shakedown. The whole Reverend Jim Jones thing, those 600 people drinking Kool-Aid, was because he didn't want to pay up. He got too big for the government, and he didn't want to pay up all his mafia money, his money that he owned to the big billionaire club. So they said, get rid of them all. I know it. I was there. I smelled the stink. I was there when I was a little kid. And when I got older, I was putting Vicks in my nose because the smell was so bad from the death. And I'm sharing my stories about all that. And I hope people really wake up to the control that they have.
I know we've talked about this incident before where, basically he didn't pay up. All right, Jim Jones didn't pay up. So he moved out of the country thinking he was safe, and he wasn't. Obviously, his followers drank the Kool-Aid and he got shot in the head. So he
Well,
died.
what started the whole thing is he didn't want to pay up.
Right.
But what made it bad is when you had I believe it was a California senator. I don't know if it was a congressman. I think it was a senator. Flew there, flew to where they had moved to and said, look, you still need to pay up. And they killed him. That one man they killed, that California government official that was totally in the mob telling him he had to pay up. They said, kill one of us, we'll kill all of you. That's the mentality of the mob. Kill one of us, we'll kill all of you. That's why they all drank the Kool-Aid right then and there. I'm telling you what really happened. And I hope you absorb that of how the crime has totally taken over. And that all started because they wanted him to pay up. He had a thing going. He had all these cult members working for him. He was making money off of the mind control and off of them, and they wanted their cut. He
Right.
was protected, so he was obviously CIA.
Right.
Reverend Jim Jones was CIA. He was in San Francisco. He started his mission there. You had me there with him. You had the Hells Angels there also. So you had this whole thing, and it was all CIA projects. You had the Hells Angels with the LSD, Timothy Leary. You had the MK Ultra. There's a lot of articles on it now, but yes, the CIA used LSD, San Francisco. They used mind control, Reverend Jim Jones. I remember being when there was a kid. Reverend Jim Jones had speakers, those outside speakers, the loud ones, and those drove me crazy. I was like this from the noise that was being put out through the speakers. It was
Hmm.
so freaking annoying. They had done that. They had done that with me more than once. The CIA. Um, they used drums, the the drum beat, but they researched and studied how to get into someone's mind and get into control them. So they say, yeah, our government's wonderful.
There's so many things we could talk about there. One question I had is I heard, and I'm going to screw it up, but I had heard that there were weapons at that site that they wanted to, basically, some guys wanted to take. I don't know if that's true, but is that anything you witnessed?
Well, there was firearms there.
Yeah.
Um, I had one in my hand too. I even shot a lady in the leg
Ooh,
myself. I think I've shared that.
yeah.
But when I was there, I was under, being Black Ops Special Forces, you're under MK Ultra because they don't want you to remember what you did. I had put it, my whole life I had been put under MK Ultra, and I studied the fact how to wake yourself up, how to remember the dreams that you had that you didn't, because we only use a little fraction of our mind, but under MK Ultra we're using a totally different space in our mind. But I was ordered to go shoot this lady on this airplane and kill her. And I went in there and I shot her in the leg and I said, play dead. And I walked out. So I was risking my life on,
Saving
for
her.
not killing her, not taking orders and killing her.
Yeah.
Um, they found out that I didn't kill her because they went back in and they shot her 3 or 4 more times. But I tried to save the lady's life. I really did. But that was all, you know, the things I've seen, and you know, even being in the Black Ops Special Forces, they wanted you to prove your kills. When Vietnam was going on, that's why my story about all the ears on my necklace, because the people in government would send these teams of 6 member teams out into the jungle, into Cambodia, and they would be like, kill somebody and bring them back and show me that you killed them.
Oh,
So the crew I was with, they were killing all kinds of Vietnamese, but they had me as a little kid cutting off their ears, putting them on a necklace so I could physically show all the kills that we did. And, it's really sick. It's really sad. It's all messed up. I don't even know why I brought that up. It's just, it's part of the cover ups that go on.
yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. So this has been going on. All right. So we've been talking about your the death of your father 60 years ago. Okay. Well, 60 plus years ago. All right. They're still covering that up. All right. They're still officially covering it up. They don't want to tell us anything there. It's been going on longer than that. But that's a good
Yeah.
starting point for our story,
Well,
right?
they're
That's
not going to tell you, Sue. They're not going to
yeah.
say, hey, we killed John F. Kennedy because we're taking over the Kennedy
Yeah.
family. We're taking over the government and we're organized crime and we're going to start running things from now on. My father said he would splinter the CIA. My father wasn't into Israel having nukes. My father was against the secret societies that had taken over, that worked for the FBI, our Secret Service, our CIA. And he was like, hey, I'm going to put an end to all that. And they're like, no, we're going to kill you and show the world how powerful we are. And they
Right.
did.
Right.
If I ever made it to the presidency, everything would change. Everything would change because there you couldn't be there would be so many attempts on your life at the top. It's huge. It's the big prize. I made a video earlier. It's like King of the Hill to these people. If you remember King of the Hill, you'd get a dirt hill when you were a kid, and the little kid that got to the top would fight off everybody. That's one thing they taught me as a kid. King of the Hill, and it's always about the big kid getting on top, and that's what they want to do to the United States
Yeah.
and our allied countries. Um, and they always test whether it's Russia or China or any of that. They all want
Yeah.
to be king of the hill.
Yeah.
And we, the people of this country, are the king of the hill. We got to knock them freaking off and put America first, put us, the poor, the middle class that they're stealing from, that they're starving and making things worse. We need to be king of the hill, people, us little guys. We need to remember government's corrupt. Government's not there to help you. None of them are there to help we the people. None of them. So let's play king of the hill. Let's do what we got to do. Let's be smart about it, but let's kick them all to the freaking curb. I think this government shutdown is great. I hope it goes on forever, and then we can weed out things from there and make government as small as possible. Yeah, we need the military, but we don't need all this other crap. I mean, you go to the Social Security office, you got to talk behind bulletproof glass. They treat you like you're a criminal. You go to any government agency that's put in there for us. Oh, I got to search you for weapons. Here's the metal detect you down. Why? Why when they because they have pissed so many people off. They're afraid of us. The
Right.
bulletproof. That's all there is to it. Our government puts all these things in They make it hard for us, and they're scared of us.
Yeah. People are frustrated. It's like they keep turning the amps up, the suffering. A lot of it is economic, but we need money to buy food, utilities at our house, shelter, transportation, just the basics. We're not talking luxury, okay? And just to have enough food for a family now, two people have to work and they have to make some money because I don't know how people are doing it right now. So the frustration level with all of these little things and the laws, the rules, the fees, the fines, the price increases, it just drives it up higher and higher, and people are about at their wits' end, right?
Well, what the government is doing right now, it's
Yeah.
scary to me. I don't watch the news, so I don't have to hear this shit, but it just pops up about the farmers, how they're screwing the farmers,
Yeah.
how we're giving $40 billion to Argentina, how we're buying Argentina beef. You know, we need to start, hey, this country's for us, not for Argentina. And then we're bombing Venezuelan boats, totally illegal. That is a crime against humanity
Right.
when you blow up somebody and they don't have a court of law to go sit in and say, hey, I was just catching some fish, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's bullshit right there alone. But what they're doing, um, is they're trying to destroy you. I can't afford to buy beef. I wanted to make a pot roast the other day. And the price of beef for a little piece of meat is $20. It's crazy what they're doing. And why are we doing uh,
Yeah.
it's getting
It's
bad. It's
it's
getting
just
bad and they're planning it. They're hurting us doing what they're doing. Everybody knows that inflation has doubled and tripled since COVID, and then you got that. That's another fucking joke there. How many, you got stores like Walmart and all these big fast food restaurants and everything else that are owned by these people. And somebody found a wonderful video of me, and I remember it to this day. I didn't remember it until I saw the video. But when Wayne was having me do commercials and 1 out of 12 and Emergency and all these other shows, they gave me the name Richard Steele, even the movie with Doris Day and Brian Keith and all this other stuff. But they had me do a commercial where I popped out of a McDonald's bag and Ronald McDonald was there. And that was a commercial. So they used that. It's like if you go back, they're telling you what they were doing. And
right.
I remember that because they had me playing with Ronald McDonald. So when I was under the table and I popped up through the bag, I wouldn't be scared to death of Ronald McDonald
Right.
as a little kid. Say, oh man, this what the hell? So, they had me playing with Ronald McDonald. When I popped out of the bag, I just kind of looked at him.
Yeah.
But they had me, little John Kennedy Jr. They assassinated my father, but they were buying up all these McDonald's. So they wanted to show their power. Look what we can do with little John Kennedy Jr. We can pop him out of a Ronald McDonald bag. If you guys don't understand how the cabal works, I'm sharing it. They had little John Kennedy Jr., they murdered his family, and they have him pulling up out of a McDonald's bag.
Yeah, they were telling you what they're doing, right? And back then especially, Ronald McDonald was very super creepy. Super creepy. I
Yeah,
mean,
they said this. I read something on the internet. I don't know how true it is, but the real Ronald McDonald, where they got the Ronald McDonald from, um, was a mass murderer of children. He
yeah,
he would actually go to the circuses and kidnap children that went to the circuses, and he was a real creepy guy.
yeah,
That's just internet stuff. I could be totally wrong,
yeah,
but it makes sense to me. The
yeah,
big red floppy circus shoes,
yeah,
and yeah,
yeah. We know what's happening there. I am just shocked that anyone would even eat McDonald's anymore after all. I mean, it's been out in the public. what they've been doing there for at least 20 years. And more proof, more and more video proof is coming out all the time. But people still line up to eat that stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, Robin wanted a McDonald's coffee. We didn't get the burgers or fries or anything like that, but we had to go to Las Vegas and pick up sister from the airport, bring her back. She stayed here for a week. I just took her back yesterday, which was a wonderful visit. Um, but after we picked her up, we stopped at McDonald's to get Robin her coffee, and I was looking at the board, and it was 11 and $12. I think the little burgers were like $10.
What?
But yeah, just this wasn't for the meal. This was just for like a Big Mac, $12.
Wow.
And the quarter pounder, 11.99. I mean, come on. I remember when they were a dollar. You could get Big Macs for a dollar. And you figure a Big Mac for a dollar in the 80s,
Yeah.
and now
Well,
you're looking at 11 and $12, people.
they've got
That's 1,200% markup.
everyone's
What are we
addicted
doing?
now. Everyone's addicted and they line up for it. They can't gobble that stuff down fast enough.
Yeah. Well, when me and my son were living here before he passed away, we couldn't afford to go out to eat.
Yeah.
Um, we couldn't. If something happened when we got some money, that was a big treat to go to Burger King and get a Whopper. Robin got here, and she was taking me out to these sandwich places. 2 subs for $50, and I was like,
What?
$50, man. You know what I could buy for? Yeah, this was oh, John's, something John's
Wow.
sandwiches.
Wow.
Not Papa John. That's pizza. Um, but anyway, me and Robin went and got two-foot long subs. The bill was $50. Yeah, we took some home and had it, all day long. But the
It's
prices are.
crazy.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. And see, here's the thing. You know, they have been very smart how they've influenced society. So people don't know how to cook anymore. All right. They don't know the basics of how to take care of themselves. They're used to going to the fast food places, the takeout, or, whatever's prepared at the grocery stores rather than bring food home and put it together like we did in the old days to cook a meal or whatever, right?
Yeah.
People are helpless now. And so they've got them over a barrel. They have to pay that money, right? And you're right. Okay, so when you don't have the money to pay for the basics of life, what do? You resort to crime. You're desperate. You don't care if you do the wrong thing. You've got to eat. Your kids have got to eat. So our crime rates are through the roof, right? And
And you
it
get
is
more
one,
people selling drugs and every
yep,
other thing to
yep,
make a buck. Yeah. But
yeah.
what we really need to do in this country is get rid of the Walmarts. Not that we ever will. We could sure try. We need more farmers markets. We
Mhm.
need more mom and pop stores. Walmart came in and totally destroyed mom and pops.
Totally. Totally.
Totally. And that's the American hardworking people.
Yeah.
Restaurants, that's the hardest business there is to
Yep.
to stay afloat. And you got all these people taking loans out to make restaurants. And that's just, if they don't lose money, hey, they're doing great.
Yeah.
You get all these restaurants, if they don't lose, and now you got inflation. So when people do go out to eat, they got to, a hundred
Pricey.
bucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't
Hundred
like to,
bucks don't grow on trees nowadays.
I don't like to support these big box stores at all. Look at during the pandemic, who was open? Walmart, Home Depot, well, of course, Amazon. I mean, and then just the big box stores, all the local businesses suffered. Their people didn't have pay. They had to pay rent on a place they couldn't use. A lot of them went out of business by design, right? And
Somebody
who
just said on my Facebook, Jimmy John's. That's what I was thinking.
Jimmy John's. Oh,
Yeah, that sub place, Jimmy
okay.
John's.
Okay. All right.
Sue, I gotta
Yeah.
take a break for a second.
Well, good
Um,
because I want to talk about your website.
awesome. Thank you.
You know I can talk about anything. So I'm going to go to John's website, the real John F. Kennedy Jr.com. All right. And this is the main screen. Lots of content on this website, lots of photos. And oh, look at Quest for Justice. Yay. You can order here if you want it. Okay. And that's a hint. Okay, guys? The money goes to John. And I would love these books out of my house. I've got like I got the full shipment of books. Love to get them moving. You've got Stolen Identity there, a link for that, a link for the historian's tale, some photos, but you're going to have the documentary The Quiet Journey right here on John's website. Fabulous 1 hour documentary that tells about John's story in a beautiful way. Please go see that if you haven't. Please share that around if you haven't. All right. Now, one other thing I always like to show with John's website is the shop button or the shop tab. John is offering healing pendants for sale. They come in 5 different colors and 2 different sizes. And when we say healing, they've been infused with healing and protective frequencies. So King Smarty has put his frequencies, billions with a B, of healing and protective frequencies into these pendants. They're $111 plus shipping, and you're going to get billions of healing frequencies just by wearing the pendant, which is super easy. Almost with you, John. Down at the bottom, we've got some Quiet Journey hoodies and t-shirts for you to purchase. You'll remember John. You'll support John with all of these purchases. So thank you in advance for all you can do to help John. Please visit his website, therealjohnfkennedy.com. Yay!
Okay. And here's the deal, folks. We're trying to make world news. They don't want us out. They don't want my story out that, hey, I'm the real John Kennedy Jr. I'm not trying to bullshit anybody. I'll just go sit in front of Congress. They can come handcuff me, take me wherever, do the DNA, try to say I'm lying, but they won't. The Kennedys won't sue me because I am who I am. It's that big. But the media doesn't want my story out. So what we're doing on the 22nd of next month, November 22nd, we're going to Daily Plaza in Dallas. I have some picket boards being made up of the books. I'm having some banners made up. We're going on the 22nd because it's the anniversary of my father's execution by government. I'm hoping you all can be there
Right.
and show your support. Just show up, walk around. If you have a book, hold it up. But what I'm getting at, I'm passing the church plate around right now, people. If you buy this book off the website, the profits are going to the healing center. If you buy a pendant, if you buy one of the books, the profits, and that's huge. The profits on the pendant, it's history. It's you're
Yeah.
showing your support for
Yeah.
John Kennedy to get his
Yeah.
story out. But we're going to be going to Dallas on the 22nd. It's going to be gas money, motel rooms, and if you
Yeah.
buy these, it will help us do that, pay our bills, get there safe, and get home safe.
Yes.
So I haven't sold one of these in quite a while. I really haven't, and so I don't know if we're being hindered or what. We keep getting more followers and more viewers, but show your support and get one of these awesome dog tags. It'll help us do what we got to do. A lot of people said, you should be giving your book away. You're just trying to make a buck. Well,
Yeah.
we got things to do. We got to get the story out, and it all costs money. We can't give the books away. We can't. I'm not going to Dallas to sell a book, though. I'm going there to share the story to get media attention. We're bringing some books. Somebody donated a lot of books for us to bring, but that's not the main reason we're going. We're going there to get the story out.
Right.
So even if you got a if you can get there somehow, bus, carpool, whatever, bring your books, make a sign, get some paint, and write on it, justice for the real John. It's just for the whole world, and let's bust their balls. Let's kick them right where it hurts, and say John Kennedy's alive. Prove he ain't. Prove he ain't alive. Prove they didn't kidnap him. Prove that the man that John that stole his identity had no Kennedy blood. It's huge, but let's do this. The 22nd. Um, hey, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there 22nd and the 23rd. If I survive the 22nd, I'll be there the 23rd.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a great opportunity, everyone. If you buy the book now, you can bring it with you on the 22nd and get it autographed. Maybe if John is kicking, because he's going to have a lot of people flocking around asking him questions that whole day. It's going to be
Yeah, and I'll be
amazing.
happy to sign your books while I'm there.
Yeah.
Um, I invite all my brothers, my biker brothers. I would love to see three wide going up Daily Plaza. I really would. And I hope you make that happen. That's
Yeah.
on the 22nd. You still
Right.
have a couple weeks to plan a little motorbike
Yeah.
ride to Dallas, and let's hear some thunder
Awesome,
straight up.
awesome, awesome news. Yeah, it's going to be a very exciting event. And of course, it is a solemn reason that you're there. Is that the first time you've been back to, been to that site, John, or have you been there before?
I was there when I was young, but
Okay. All right.
yeah, not recently.
So you're going to have the support of the good people with you, and then the people that haven't got a clue are going to show up and they're going to be like, "What?" And
Yeah,
how
well, there's going
exciting.
to be media there of some kind,
There's going to be
and
excitement.
maybe we can get their attention.
Yeah.
I've talked to people, news reporters and stuff, and said, "Hey, I'm the real John Kennedy Jr.
Yeah.
You want a news story?" And they're like, "No." But if we can get enough people holding their books up and holding the sign, um,
Yeah.
I'm
You
trying to do what we have to do to get the truth out.
you
I,
know
I
what
I
would be
really am, and I figured, you know, we've done a lot of videos too, and last year we were like, 2025 is the time we're going to get your story out.
yep.
And I was thinking about it. You got the beautiful Shannon Sheridan that's been going there week after week after week, sharing the story at Daily Plaza. They get tours come in, lots of people, and
Right.
they're being told the lies that John was the real John Kennedy Jr. And he's in all the history books and every other thing. He's a fake. He's a fraud. We need to expose what they're doing, and this is a great way to do it.
Right.
It it really is.
Right.
So we're doing it because November, I mean, heck, you only got December, and then we're going to be saying Justice for John 2026.
Yeah.
So, I seen November. It was like, let's do what we got to do.
Yeah. Agreed. So if anyone knows groups out that way that would be like biking groups that would love to take a little field trip, that would be insane to have support like that, wouldn't it?
It would be great.
Yeah. If anyone can put that together, let me know. Okay.
Shannon Sheridan had a group of bikers.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looked like 20 or 30 bikers show up there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And she went and talked to the leader and said, "Hey, I hope you share that John Kennedy Jr. is alive and y'all been lied to." So it's wonderful what she's
Yeah.
doing to
Yeah.
get the story out.
She is a trooper because it's a physically tiring day. She has to drive about an hour and standing on your feet all day in the hot weather and talking you expend a lot of energy, but the effort is her cause, her way to help you. So thank you
Yeah,
all the people that are doing what they are doing to share the story. I did pound my fist and say 2025 was the year. I meant it. We're making leeway.
yeah,
It's like it has to get to a tipping point. I feel like we're really close to that. We're going to break through and then everyone's going to know this story. And they need to be educated. There's a lot of programming out there. We don't
yeah.
even know how badly we've been programmed with
Oh
things.
yeah,
Everything, right?
It's bad. It really is.
Yeah.
People don't realize how
Yeah.
bad it actually is,
Yeah.
and what they're actually doing to us
Yeah.
to keep us blind to the fact that, hey, they're ruling over us and we're just
Yeah.
letting them.
Yeah.
We're like a bunch of zombies in this world, and believing what they tell us. And there's people out there that's shouting, "Hey, you're a zombie. Wake up."
And it's hard. Like, look at the average family, get up at 5, 6 in the morning, rush to work, eat whatever food they can, rush home, get dinner for the kids, go to bed and do it again. They've got no time to educate themselves or think about the broader picture of what's happening. They are struggling just to survive.
Oh, and then you got those people, and then you got the people that say, "I don't bother with what's going on in government." And it's like, if you don't bother with what's going on in government, it's going to get worse. And then
Totally.
it'll get down to, well, what did I miss? What did I do? How come I'm living this way?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So for those that can purchase a pendant, gift them away. Like, it's holiday season coming up, which is awful. Okay, it's only October, and I've walked through a couple stores and I'm like, oh God, no, not already. But they're promoting the gift buying. So if you're gonna buy a gift, buy a healing, protective collector's item, beautiful pendant that supports John, or buy the book and um, learn his story and share this story around. We want to get this story out to everyone that doesn't know it. I took the book down to the library and I said, "Would you like a copy? I'll gift you one." They couldn't decide, so I walked away, but I planted the seed, and I'm going back again because I go there all the time and they know me. But I want this story out to those that don't know it, right? Yeah, that's what we're after. People that don't know the story. We've always got the same group here listening to the same thing, blah, 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 week after week. They're
Yeah,
good
we
people.
apologize for that, but
Thank you guys. But
yeah,
how
thank
else
you
do
for
we get it
sticking in
out?
there.
How else can we get it out? Right?
Right. I know a lot of the followers hear the same over and over again.
Yeah,
People say, "Why do I keep repeating myself?" and blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
Well, you guys have been able to hear the story, but there's literally billions of
yeah,
people that haven't.
yeah,
So we're trying to bust out of our bubble because we're on the internet. They know how to suppress us and keep us in our own little group.
yeah.
They have that technology. They don't want the story out.
Yeah.
Um, Huge achievement right here. Um, we just ordered more of these, and I get in trouble for giving them away. And I spilt my coffee this morning. I got up at 2 o'clock and I was like, I can't sleep. I might as well do a video.
Yeah.
So I heated up some coffee in the microwave. I brought it over here, set it down, and my desk was a mess. And I spilt my coffee all over everything. I just picked this book up right here and it's covered in 3 a.m. coffee,
Right.
but I'm only human. I
Yeah,
make
yeah.
messes.
Well, the bottom line is we're asking for help to get this story out there. Okay. Look at this cover. JFK and John Jr. there. Freaky how beautifully that lines up. Freaky, right? Do you
That's my
think that's
daddy.
you think that's random, guys? That's real. This is a real thing. We need your help.
And if you do that with the John Kennedy Jr., the whole world knew, do it to
Yeah.
Aristotle Onassis and Maria Callas.
Yeah.
If you do it with my father, he's not going to look anything like me
Right.
or him. He's
Right.
going to look just like Aristotle Onassis, that was his father,
Yep.
and he's going to look just like Maria Callas, that was his mother. The story's huge, but they put him in place to steal the
Yep.
Kennedy fortunes, to
Yep.
steal the bloodline,
Yep.
to change the bloodline,
Yep.
the same way they did in England to take over the royal family. I want you all to think about this. They use identity theft. They've done it forever. You've heard the story of the Russian czars and all that. But what they did with Princess Diana, they switched Princess Diana out with one of their bloodline members. So guess what? She had no Kennedy blood. I mean, no, royal blood in her.
Right.
But when she was replaced, she had two children. Now, who are those two children? They're going to be the rulers. No, no royal blood, just the cabal blood. And that's the whole thing with unaliving Princess Diana and every other thing. It was to take over of the royal family.
Of
And I
course.
made an oath to my queen mother that I would do what I possibly could if the kingdom was ever overthrown. And I'm screaming right now, it's all been overthrown. Not only the United States of America, but England, Australia, Canada. The cabal has infiltrated them all of us. And things are going to get bad for all of us when you have organized crime members running the show, when it's all about them at the
Right.
top and their millions of dollars. They want to enslave us all. And
Right.
they're so very close to doing it. So very close.
Right.
You hear people from England and Australia saying it's all bad. It's all bad.
Yeah.
All these protesters in England about even our president. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
And we can make a change if we wake up.
You
We
you
really
see
can.
you see the garbage on the street and the way people are starting to have to live on the street because of the economics and all the stuff that's going on. I was just thinking about Back to the Future. I think it was two or three, I don't remember which one, where he comes back and it's like a casino that his mother lives in and how e- everything's burned out and abandoned and that's the way it feels like we're going through now, doesn't it? It feels like our cities are dirty and crime filled, and why would you go there to visit or look around? There's no reason to leave your house anymore. People
A
are
lot.
afraid to leave, right?
Well, you got Hollywood working with our CIA, and it's all
Yeah.
the same.
Yep.
And they love putting it right in front of your face through television.
Yep.
Television is all made up, so you get hooked on it.
Yep.
You look into the TV and you start believing it's real.
Yeah.
You watch a good movie and you're like, oh my God, you even get teared up.
Yeah.
And it's just Hollywood actors.
Yep.
You got tears running. Oh, they killed that poor kitty cat or dog or whatever. And you're like, it's all fake.
Yep.
It's all just to get you teared up.
Totally. Totally.
But yeah,
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening to us. Thank you for supporting John. Again, buy the books, buy the pendants, go to Dallas on the 22nd to support John, and it's going to be very exciting. Very exciting.
it
And
is.
thank you for everything you've done to share this story. We really appreciate it. Like I have been pounding my fist, and I'm not. I'm serious. The story is getting out there, so we're not going to give up, right? We're not giving up.
Not
So
at all. We're
just like
going to the extremes to get the story out now.
right, right,
Try to get it out 2025 like we all manifested in doing.
yeah,
Um, Dallas people, let's do this. Make a
yeah,
video. John's going to Dallas. John
yeah,
will be there.
yeah,
Um, you never know what's going to happen.
yep,
I don't. I'm trusting in God and Daddy for safety,
yep,
my safety, and all the loved ones that go there and hold up a book for justice. Um, God bless y'all. But let's do this.
right.
And thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank
Yeah,
you all. I've always said we're just spokes on a wheel. I'm just a spoke on a wheel, and all you lions are spokes on the wheel. But together we can get it to roll, and we got to work together to form that wheel. I can't do it without you. You know that. I know that. I thank you for it. I thank Sue for it. I thank all the people that support me
right.
and the cause. Let's keep going. Let's get the story out till we're
Right.
sitting in Congress with a microphone saying, "Yeah, I'm the real John Kennedy Jr. You all fucked up."
I love it. Thank you so much for your time and effort, John. And like I said, your courage in getting this story to us, helping us understand what happened to you, but what happens, why they do this. I've learned so much from you in the past couple of years, and I don't think other people understand it yet. So when they do, I think they'll be glad they
Yeah.
listened.
I
Yeah.
hope people really go down my rabbit hole and start watching all the videos and stuff that I've done, hear my story, and get with it before they leave the hateful comments. and everything. Just so they understand what I'm doing, why
Yep.
I'm doing it,
Yep.
and who I am, and understand I'm not here to bullshit. I'm not here. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. But it is what it
Yep.
is,
Yep.
and it's all truth with me.
Right. Thank you all. Thank you, John. I appreciate your time.
Thank you